Good morning from North Roxbury Drive in Beverly Hills. Today I'm going to see the grave of Peter Falk. Although he had a film career, he is best known for portraying the role of Inspector Columbo. The show ran from 1968 to 1978 and again from 1989 to 2003. Before I go and see his grave, I'm going to see his house. He actually lived on the same street as Jimmy Stewart. And Jimmy Stewart's house is just a few hundred yards away, really. His trademark squint was due to a prosthetic eye because he lost his eye to cancer at the age of 3. He wasn't the first actor to play Columbo. Bert Fred played the character in an episode of the Chevy Mystery Show in 1960, and in 1968 Bing Crosby turned down the role, and that's when Peter Falk landed the role.
Bing Crosby liked the script, but he declined the role on the basis that it would take him away from his beloved golf course for too long. Peter Falk wasn't even approached to play the part, but he came across the script by chance. He was initially considered too young to play the part, but he won the role, at least in part through sheer persistence. Peter Falk wanted every episode of the show to be like a little film. He was known to become embroiled in long arguments about the script, which often slowed down the filming. For a crime drama, the show was unusual, as it was devoid of shootouts or car chases. Columbo doesn't even carry a gun, and indeed he greatly dislikes them in the show.
Steven Spielberg was one of the early directors of the show, and he had a very unusual method. He used to place the cameras out of sight of Peter Falk.
The first episode of the first season was directed by a 24-year-old Steven Spielberg. He was given a lot of freedom to experiment with camera angles, lighting and editing. When filming street scenes, he would sometimes place the camera out of sight of Peter Falk. It was Spielberg who established the visual style and tone of the show. It became a turning point in his career and led to his first feature film, Duel, which was filmed in 1971.
He wrote his autobiography 5 years before his death, and he named the book Just One More Thing. And here's his house. He was a very talented artist, and he had a studio here where he used to do his drawing and sketching. More trivia for you. The trademark Columbo raincoat was not a prop. It was actually his rain jacket in real life. And there was a rumour at one time that the jacket had been given to the Smithsonian Institution. Peter Falk set the record straight, confirming that the jacket was in his upstairs closet here.
Prior to Columbo, he had a very successful movie career. He starred in such films as It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, The Great Race, Murder by Death, The In-Laws, The Princess Bride, and Wings of Desire. He was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor for Murder, Inc. and Pocketful of Miracles. Peter Falk won 4 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe for his part as Columbo. Peter Falk loved playing Columbo, and he never feared being stereotyped. Peter Falk lived here with his wife Shira Denise for 32 years, right up until his death. She is the actress who appeared in the most Columbo episodes apart from Peter Falk himself. Sadly, Peter Falk was last seen in public wandering the streets of Beverly Hills with cars swerving to avoid him, until police pulled him to safety. He was in the throes of Alzheimer's disease. His condition had left his wife fighting his children in a bitter battle for control over his $100 million fortune.
Some sad news for those of us who grew up watching the television show Columbo. Actor Peter Falk has died at the age of 83. According to a family friend, Falk died at his Beverly Hills home. He had been suffering from Alzheimer's disease. In the 1970s, he played the rumpled but shrewd detective Columbo.
Back in Westwood Memorial Park, This is where Peter Falk is buried.
Peter Falk died on June 23, 2011, at the age of 83.
And here's the grave. Peter Falk, I'm not here, I'm home with Shira.
Buried next to Peter Falk is the legendary director Billy Wilder.
Billy Wilder. I'm a writer, but then nobody's perfect. He's an Australian-American filmmaker. He was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Director 8 times, winning twice. His career spanned 5 decades, and his films include the 1950s classic Sunset Boulevard. He directed Marilyn Monroe in 2 films, Some Like It Hot and The 7-Year Itch. He wanted to make Schindler's List in 1983, but Steven Spielberg had already bought the rights to the film. Wilder died of pneumonia in 2002. He was 95 years of age.
Buried in another part of the cemetery is a close friend of Peter Falk, the filmmaker John Cassavetes. They had known each other since the early 1950s. They both had very different personalities and would sometimes clash, but they worked together on a number of films, including the film Husbands in 1970 and A Woman Under the Influence in 1974. The 2 men remained close until Cassavetes' death in 1989.
Stay a little bit longer. I'm sorry, didn't mean to, but I heard you cannot undo it. So please stay. I know that we've been fighting, but can't we just hold up? Maybe stay up, try to make things right.